last law that we're going to look at is Dalton's law of partial pressures. What Dalton's law tells us is that the total pressure of a gas equals the sum of its partial pressures. And I'll show you what this means in just 1 second. So in the diagram below, if you have a canister of helium and you have a canister of argon, and the helium canister has a pressure of 2.0 atmospheres and the argon canister has a pressure of 4.0 atmospheres, if I were to combine those two canisters together to find the total pressure of the two gases, all you have to do is add the partial pressures together, so the partial pressure of helium and the partial pressure of argon, and you get your total pressure. And that is all Dalton's law of partial pressures tells us. So to create a formula, P total, so the total pressure, equals, and I'm just going to say P1 plus P2 plus P3, and then dot, 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 because you can have as many partial pressures as is necessary in the problem. So I'm going to do the first example problem with you. It tells us air contains oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide and trace amounts of other gases. What is the partial pressure of oxygen at 101.3 kPa of total pressure if the partial pressures of nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and other gases are, and it lists them. So before I get started, I'm going to write out my formula. My P total equals the partial pressure of oxygen plus the partial pressure of nitrogen, N2, plus the partial pressure of CO2, plus the partial pressure of other gases. So I'm going to just write other. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug in what I know. So I know that the total pressure is 101.30 kPa. I know that the partial pressure of oxygen is, well, I don't know because that's what I'm trying to solve for. So I'm just going to write PO2 here, plus the partial pressure of nitrogen, which is the 79.10 kPa, plus the partial pressure of CO2, which is 0.040 kPa, plus 0.94 kPa, which is the partial pressure of the other gases. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is figure out how, using basic algebra, how to calculate the partial pressure of oxygen. And I want you to write it below right here. All right, because I have 101.30 equals partial pressure of oxygen plus 79.10 plus 0.040 kPa plus 0.94 kPa. You can solve for the partial pressure of oxygen. So please do.